regardless. But with that being said, Crackshot, how you been? How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good today. I've been doing a lot of writing, working on that the power rankings. It's coming out probably by Wednesday, so make sure you guys check out the C Star League website where you can see all the latest and greatest news on the ongoings and developments of collegiate esports, and not only CS:GO but other esports as well.
Yes, indeed. So let's talk about Lambton College first. We've seen them in the first, semester. Sorry, first regular season, and they didn't do too hot. But come on, they're up against CUNY Baruch. But what are some changes to Lambton? I noticed some changes. Hidden to me. Let's give me the deets.
They've definitely started off this half a lot more, like a lot stronger than they did last time. They stumbled a lot in their last half, and they just kind of didn't really recover from it. I believe in the last half they won week one and then didn't win a single game after that. So to open up the spring 2-0, it's gonna be huge for them to do it. I mean, their only fall loss was against Sheridan, but I mean they've even beaten San Diego State, ETS. They're a solid school, and I mean as a rival to St. Clair, I'm sure that you keep your eye on their development in their esports program, and I think that they have a really tough matchup today. Not to say they can't take some rounds, but I don't even know if they're going to be able to stand up to the tall test of playing against their opponent today.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. CUNY Baruch currently 7-1. And before we talk about the lineup, how is CUNY Baruch doing?
CUNY Baruch is, I mean, they're the defending champions from last season. There's not a lot that you can say about these guys other than the fact that they're fraggers. This is what they do. I mean, they've shown it time and time again that they can bully you at any point of the map. I mean, Toy has pro league experience, Food and Four Shot both have MDL experience. Udic Meister's in main. Like every single one of these players is just like a nuts aimer, a nut like they have nuts movement. They're hard to play against individually, and they can kind of overwhelm you if you're not like ready to communicate, and you got to use your, I guess, strategic footing that Lambton, if they did their homework, they might have here to try to get past CUNY Baruch. But I mean, even so, their aim is just, and they're the players, the level of these players are just they're just on another level. I don't know how much strategy it'll even matter if you can't hit shots against these guys because they're going to kill you before you can do anything.
Yeah, that's I believe CUNY Baruch has a new addition. I forgot who stepped down, but they acquired Four Shot. And
Yeah, they did. They picked up Four Shot this season. He's been kind of touted as the stability factor that they've brought into the team. Most recently playing MDL on Steel's team, Torqued, I believe. And they did okay. They didn't quite make playoffs, but I mean the performance that they put on. If you can hold your own and be a middle of the pack team in Mountain Dew League, I mean that says something about you and the caliber of player that you are. So a welcome addition to this lineup. That I mean obviously they're coming into this season before we even played any games. They're a favorite to go back to back and make it a two-peat here in Collegiate Star League. So I'm excited to see what they bring out this half of the season. The only concern that I've had with CUNY Baruch in the past is that um, it's maybe a sense of complacency might develop amongst these players, and they might kind of forget that this is Counter Strike. Sometimes in Counter Strike, your aim isn't going to be the first thing to win the game, and I just want to make sure that they're at least they're running basic strats and these kind of things. And this is kind of going to be a telling tale of that today because Overpass is definitely one of the maps
yeah,
where you
that's
can't
true.
just pug them out.
It's gonna be scary. So I'm gonna connect. Totally forgot to connect, guys. Sorry. Is my voice really that deep, Zach? Right now,
It sounds like that to me, but
it's
is it
better,
is it
right?
I like it. Yeah, it sounds fine. It sounds really clear and really crisp. It's just so much deeper than what I'm used to hearing you
Oh,
sound
cause
like.
yeah, I'm actually ill, guys. Again, I've been sick since late October. Yep.
Okay, see, I told you now our soldering just I'm not the only one who's hearing it, so and
The
I'm not
producer
crazy.
says
That's good.
True he's working on his James Earl Jones. Is there something on my mic? Seriously, does this sound weird?
It sounds like you inhaled like whatever that the chemical that's like anti-helium is.
Okay, I guess we're gonna work with that. I did
It sounds
test.
cool though. It's not
I
no, it
did.
sounds cool. You should do it. You should just leave it
Okay.
the way it is
All
this
right.
week.
I'm gonna connect. Oh, and right in the server. It looks like we've
Well,
got
we don't gotta wait very long today.
9 people. Oh, okay, make that 10. But guys, going back to the game and excluding my ridiculously deep voice, just mind you, I am sick and hopefully it doesn't bother you guys. I don't know what it sounds like. I did test this before I went on air. But going into this, CUNY Baruch, obviously a powerhouse, an American powerhouse that's acquired 4-shot. They've got Food, Versace, Meister, and Toy. Toy is a semi-pro, I guess pro per se. 4-shot as well.
Boy's stuck around in the scene for a long time. He went to wait. Wasn't he on Method with your boy at that one point?
That was, I met Toy all the way, I think 2015.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. He's working right now, I believe, as an admin at ESEA. You could see him in the background behind all the teams at MDL LAN.
Oh, wait. Oh, knife's going on. Sorry, guys. Not paying attention. Get back in game. But, yeah, we'll talk about this lineup, but let's pray for Lambton. Let's be very obvious here. On paper, and yeah, CUNY Baruch actually wins the knife round. And, these guys are very loud.
I assume they'll take CT side. I mean, it's the side that you'd want to see. I mean, who did we see last week? It was a 16-1, I believe. 16-2 maybe.
That was Division 2 game too.
Yeah, Dragio put on that clinical performance playing behind Truck there and on Optimus here, and I mean it's scary when you have players who perform the way that they did there.
So just okay. Was reading what my producer was saying. Sorry, guys. Want me to fix it if I would like to, and it's not gonna get fixed. All right. So Pistol's gonna start as CUNY Baruch gonna start on the CT side as 5 players rushing towards connector of Lambton College. You're gonna make it through to water. It looks like.
4-shot's gonna hear all of it. Here, making his way into the site. Hasten. 4-shot's actually let them walk completely by him right now. He's got free shots, and he will finally find one onto Alonso Versace. Chimes in as well with 2. And Food finds one. Meister finds the final kill, and 5N. Nearly team ace here. CUNY Baruch out to an early pistol lead.
Yep, indeed. So, guys, going back to this, I'm so sorry. I'm just jumping in and out, just making sure everything's okay. But, you know, Lambton College, they have a new lineup. Recognize a few players that aren't there. The Lions have been doing pretty good so far. And I really want to mention that, obviously, they're up against a powerhouse. But I expect Lambton to not give up. So, they're going to try their hearts out. They've got 5 players with CZs towards Playground. And looks like they're going to make their way towards the long A. Leave Austin right back. And he spots a player. Some information given here, and that's going to be Meister to actually make his way back.
Here's the stampeding up long, and Smorg finds one here. The bomb's going to go down. They will get a plant out of this, so Lions doing well to recover a rifle, but this is going to be a difficult site hold here. They only have CZs to work with. A couple players already really low. Toy chiming in, finding one early. That's going to make things a little bit easier here as Versace's going to find one as well. Toy with a 3rd, and maybe a cleanup here by CUNY Baruch, and that's going to be a 2nd round for them. A little bit scary there that they had long A that open, and this is kind of what I kind of talked about before the game, in the sense that these guys, like, at some point, you know, these are the things that they're going to probably figure out in these games. These are the things we have to work on. So if teams are able to exploit that, and the Lions obviously using teamwork there to get a bomb plant, they might be able to recover some rounds here.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's a good try. They get the bomb plant, they get some extra money. It will allow some op play, or I guess essentially this pistol buy as well. It's his 3rd round, but what can they get going? Get another bomb plant? Yeah, definitely help. Oh my god, Meister gets some damage on him. Down to hasten to 2 HP. Goes down to 4-shot. Now, I've been watching 4-shot for quite some time, and this kid is actually insane. He did used to play. I'm not even sure. I think he played on Fake. That's how I know him. Yes, he did.
I think I do recall that as well. Yeah, that was back when. Was that back when like Lowrider was on the team as well?
Yeah, Lowrider and
yeah,
Snake,
I remember that.
All those guys. That's why I have these guys on friends list, and this nice refreshing memory of these guys being gods. And they've been stuck.
Oh, they're still gods, don't worry.
And it's gonna be really scary here for Lambton College. But we'd like to see new talent playing in, but unfortunately they're gonna be facing old talent. When I say new school, old schools, I got a nade onto Corny. Now, the gun round's in play.
Yes, it is.
And this is where we're gonna start to analyze. It's gonna be 7 players for line. We're gonna be the 6th and 7th player, alright? We're gonna try and help these guys out. And see.
I mean, yeah, we can really focus on what they're doing. Yeah, so I mean, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. Playing against a team that you know you stand very little chance at actually winning the game against is a good way to test the resolve of your team and the chemistry of your players. I mean, if they can stay positive and manage to take every round one at a time, even if they lose that game, that's something that you can build on. It's the intangibles here that schools can look for.
Yes, indeed. Just kind of bolster each other, right? Just, you know.
Become a team, you know? It's about being a team. That's how Cloud9 won yesterday.
Indeed. 4 shot, 2-piece, Alonso to find Unic, and swinging wide to find a second kill for himself. Now, a 2v3 as a 5-in at the disadvantage.
Toy and Versace. 2-on-3. They do have a player in connector here. Versace's about to meet a rude awakening, but Alonso is blinded up. And looks like they're just going to abandon this. Lambton going to just kind of allow that one to happen, and Versace going to escape with his life and a free kill. That'll even things out here. We're going to see Food make an information play to head up towards long. He wants to make sure these players aren't still towards short A, but they've already made their way into short B here. Looks like they're going to try to isolate the single player on B site. That's going to be Versace. He does have a molly to work with, and it looks like he's tempted to use it early.
Oh my god, Corny, that is a big mistake. Ooh, 5 HP, could use some. Get some HP, but that bomb is in his possession. He's gonna. Oh no! And that nade rolls through. Smorg's gonna find that kill, but he needs to get in sight and plant with 10 seconds to go. Versace's making the right move. To find that kill right away, and that makes it 4-0. Now they come close in the gun round, but what went wrong? What happened?
They just needed to get that trade early. I mean, it's just the fact that they kind of second guessed themselves after they went towards the B site. That gave Versace so much information there to just make that call and allow Food to kind of make an aggressive play. Obviously unlucky that Food's able to kind of avoid the bullets there and use his movement. This is what I said though before the game started. These guys are just they're raw talent, their raw skill, their mechanical aim, their movement. Just all of these factors make them so hard to play against that sometimes it doesn't matter if you have the best strategy out there. You're just going to get beat in the one-on-one fights. You have to get kills to win the game at the end of the day.
This 5-man stack towards party. Can they make chemistry work by just bubbling through? And Corny's going to go down to 4 shot. 4 shot to hold the off, and he switches to a pistol. 1, and that's all he's going to get. Teammates close by. It's going to be Unikmeister into the bathroom. A back flank from Versace. Only manages to get 1 kill. Now Smorg and Austin. Now but they both go down 5-in. That makes it 5-0. 5-in.
I see what you did there. I knew you were going to. I just knew it. I saw the scoreline. I'm like, he's gonna say something.
Now
about
this is this is where you start, you know, asking yourself, okay, what are we doing wrong here? What is 5-in doing right? And Lions have a full buy with full utility. Can they make something else happen?
It just seemed like in that round they kind of just fought the fights that 5-in wanted them to fight. They waited until they got close to the A site there, and Toy gonna be knocked off a boost early and left worse for wear at 24 HP after a couple of nades and a little bit of pre-firing. That's something for Lambton to work with, but it looks like they're gonna rain in the smokes onto the B site and go for a full execute here. This might be the secret that they needed here. As Hastings gonna find one. That should be it initially.
Oh no, Smorg just runs right through these smokes. Cannot be doing that. Boy is gonna go down to the smoke to Alonso. This actually might be the first round for the Lions. Versace goes towards water, but no, my Unikmeister from the side, and somehow they're just picking each other off. Hasten now 1v3. Bomb gets tapped. Hasten. Second kill. And he finds another. He sprays away, but oh my god, Hasten! He almost gets it down. as Versace swings wide, and this man has found a 4K.
Versace's not usually like the touted fragger on this team necessarily. He's kind of the guy who brings them all together. He's the glue, if you'll call it that. But experience-wise, I mean, outside of this, he's the young gun. He's the guy who has some open experience, and I mean, is just kind of learning from these guys around him. And you see, it's paying off for them early. And he's just putting on a dominant performance here, 12-1. Not the player you would have expected from this lineup to be out ahead like that.
Honestly, the Lions are doing everything right, but. Okay, come on. I think it was Smorg who ran through the smoke. It just comes down to, I'm not too sure. What do you call it? You get
polish it up.
You get into the site, right? Get the bomb down. Post-hand position should be solid, but you run through the smoke like that. It's a man down. What do you call that?
It just it seemed a little bit to me like a bit of a hesitation because they did get through that smoke. They pushed the pit to get that kill, and then they kind of stopped. They hesitated. If you're going to send 2 players through there, as soon as they get that pit kill, they got to be staring at graffiti and stuff. And they got to actually push it. They got to take that control. Otherwise, they're going to get caught out by rotators, and they really got to force the issue there. Unfortunately, it just looks like a little bit of hesitation coming out from Lambton here. And I mean, that's natural in a matchup like this where you know you're kind of outclassed in a sense. And you're kind of fighting yourself in the same sense to just make sure you're doing the right thing at all times. I mean, for them, it's just going to be coming down to, they're going to go for an A execute. They're going to just, they got to play the game. That's pretty much all they can do at this point.
God, Food deep. Oh, no, actually check it. The Food finds one. He gets actually traded out right away. The 4-shot, now the only anchor onto the site. He's got an op on his back, but the flank actually comes through and does all the work. Oh my God. Toy and Versace. They trade this off, and now Austin, the 1v2 situation. He has the up. He's got to smoke a flash. 30 seconds to make this work.
He's got the room to do it. He has picked up this AWP and 4-shot trained on the angle. This is a scary angle right here. Nobody's going to be checking for that. And it's just, unfortunately, Austin left in a tough spot. That bomb being stuck towards long there meant that he didn't really have time to get out of his position and push towards long A without necessarily, I mean, would have had to reveal where he is essentially to do that with that amount of time left. So there wasn't really much he was going to be able to do there. He kind of got caught between 2 positions and unfortunately got closed out on, and looks like they're going to just keep force buying here. They are in max bonus territory on the Lions, so this is a strategy that you can do. I mean, it is a bold move, Cotton, but we'll see if it pays off.
Yep, and looking like be executed. It has worked before. It's just no one run through smoke. No one be hero. Boy will try to be that, and Smoke's going to actually find that kill. The Alonso's taken down to 19 HP. Foo trying to surf right up that wall there. Versace's gonna be anchored onto site. In minute 20, the execute comes through.
You have a shot here to do something. They do have the advantage early. Corny, that's another kill here. This is the closest they've been so far for the Lions, but Versace gonna reply finally from pillar in the site. Alonso blinded up and smoked off. He's a little afraid. Now he's gonna shoot his teammate. They're getting scared right now, Drew. They're not getting any kills. They're not moving around the site very much, but it looks like Austin, he's got something to say about it. Will 4-shot be able to clutch this 1v3? He is in pit with the AWP here. Players seem to know where he is. They might have spotted that barrel there. They'll spray, and they will get it. The Lions clutch out the round and will be on the board here early.
Wow, I like it. They know it worked before, and they go back to it, and they live with 3 players up. Bravo.
Yeah,
Lions,
it's strong. It's strong.
They just need to keep it to work. But honestly, CUNY Baruch is a school of corrective mistakes. And let's see what they do now. Interesting.
Oh, this is a CUNY Baruch buy. Yeah, CUNY Baruch buy right here is what we'll call that.
Pistols, 2 ops, and a rifle. Very interesting here for Fondant. But setting this up, Lions act. Oh my god, what is happening here? 2 players towards Fountain, aggressive as hell, and Food actually finds the kill. Toy actually backs up from the bathroom position, but or B, look at his Food still hanging on. Does so much damage. He wants to give this man a little tickle. Not from the other side. Oh, he gets away with it as well. Hasten now just left alone in a 1v4. The aggressive play by 5 in. And the Deagle now tagging up Hasten with 27 health left. Yeah, you were definitely right. That was a CUNY Baruch buy, followed by a CUNY Baruch play.
Yeah, I mean, Navi kind of made this play that they did kind of famous, in which is like teams will aggressively take long, sometimes they'll aggressively take connector, aggressively take short beat, but rarely do you see them actually push out past the fountain. But if you're, willing to take the risk and you get 2 players there, it can be really dangerous if you get there undetected, and we see it essentially wins them the round. Food dancing around and they're just putting on a show, and he keeps the Lambton at bay that entire time, allows for the rotates, and leaves them in a 1v4 that's essentially unwinnable, and that's going to be a full reset too. So Toy now just going to farm up with this AWP, although Food 1-2, can he find it? Yeah, he will actually find 2. Mollyed out are going to be the other 2 players here of the Lions. Austin and Hastings will be trying to make their way up towards the A site, it looks like, but Food's not going to have any of that, and he'll find 2 more, farming up some cash with a 4K there. Now Ivan up 9-1.
That's also another thing that sparks, you know, that game sense and that high-level skill. When someone on the CT side, or the team that's winning, actually opts to go in SMG and try and farm, because they understand the money situation. They understand Lions. He bought the previous round, they got slaughtered, and then now they went into Nico, they just got farmed up by 4K by an MP9. Look at this awesome point. Misses that shot somehow. I was going to climb up and get the second shot. It's definitely interesting to see those things.
See, it's the little things, unfortunately, that are going wrong now for Lambton, because Toy gets that kill, but in all seriousness, if they're playing against a team that can do anything about it, they're going to catch this boost. Alonso, nice awareness there to take down Versace, but as I was saying there, Toy he re-peaks that against a good enough team, and he's dead 100% of the time. So CUNY Baruch is kind of feeling it right now. They kind of know that they're the better players in this situation, and they know that they can take these re-peaks that in most situations are bad plays. They're capitalizing on it. Unfortunately, it's the bully style of Counter-Strike, where you literally take what this other team knows about it and you get rid of it, and you do your own thing, and they're winning because of it.
Yeah, but look at still the A site getting contested. Go down, but Hastings loses the duel to an MP9 as Food is going to collect enough. Working together, trying to make their way through a double up in an AK, down to 0. So we'll go down just like that to Food. That's gonna make it 10-1.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to harp on a re-peak too hard, because I do it all the time, of course, and lots of players are going to re-peak that, but it's just an example of one of many here of what's going right for 5 and what's going wrong for Lambton. Lambton wouldn't expect a re-peak because they're probably used to playing against a team that is going to respect them a little bit more. That's a really disrespectful play. Yeah, that was kind of what I was trying to get at. I just couldn't think of the word disrespect. So it's like, you see teams are going to do this against each other. Cloud9 literally said, we beat SK because we went into the game and said we're going to disrespect them like this is rank S.
Yes, the Cloud9 has that fast play, right? And I always tell my boys too, don't play scared. Just, yeah, they might be better than you, but just run out, gun out, and win the round. But look at this, 5 players, Lions, and oh my god. 4 shot, trying to get away from this. Stuck, gets another off. But the 5-7's going to be okay. Still trying to get the play. He gets TK'd by Toy.
4 shot needed to die there, so Toy was just doing some justice to the round.
But to be honest, regardless of the 11-1 scoreline, I have a lot of respect for Lions here. They actually look a lot better than what they were before. Watching their executes but the thing is, what doesn't make sense to me, they did get that B site twice. The first time didn't work out, but they got in, they got the bomb plant. The second time, they lived with 3 players winning the first round, and then they decide to attack A, which makes me scratch my head. If it works, why change it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait until 5 and actually correct it,
right?
Then make them gas, okay, this is working for them.
What a shot.
This is when you start contemplating or just trying to figure out what to do. Then Toys I'm gonna pick you aggressively. Versace opens his door. Hello, I'm gonna pick you aggressively. So now we start this round with 2 players down for the Lions, and the momentum is back in the hands of CUNY Baruch. That's one of the things you have to. It's actually very tough to in-game lead this, or if they have a coach here on Lambton to try and understand. It's a momentum-based game, right? If something works, give it another shot. But right now we're seeing a huge shift here for the Lions. They're not getting close to these trades. This double off actually is just tearing them apart. This double off started with 2 pistols as well, right?
Yeah, they bought 2 ops, an M4, a Deagle, and a 5.7, and here they are, 11-1 right now. I mean, that's a brutal round to get reset on if you're Lambton after finally finding success. And I do definitely agree with you. They should be gearing themselves towards the B site, but one thing that they're not doing right now very well is they're, like I said, they're 5N's controlling the pace, they're controlling the gunfights, and Lambton is now so scared to do anything that it was a minute 30 in the round before anybody moved past T-spawn or even towards connector, even short B there. You have to, like, CTs are given so much forward control that if you let them get all that control for free, it's like, you know, you have to do some damage. You have to at least let them know that they got to be scared when they're in those positions. Maybe think twice about playing them, because right now they're just, I mean, essentially they can just go wherever they want and assume that they're going to get a couple of kills.
The thing is also reading that double off as well.
Yeah, it's
spreading out,
it's
strong.
strong.
Default and getting picked off early on is actually getting gets 2 kills. Alonso actually finds one as Horny picks up another. Now Toy with the op misses his first shot. Bomb to go down towards Monster. Now he's on the other side with the CZ. Trying to do some work. It's gonna be Smorg. CZ, Horny. It's gonna go down just like that. The bomb. Was gonna find it, but these are kind of like the lessons. Right there? I guess so. I did not know.
It looks like it's outside the lines, like really hard there. I don't know. Maybe the lines just don't match up with where the plant spots are on the ground. Somebody do some research for us.
That is kind of weird.
Maybe it's just showing up there, like it's just kind of doesn't look the same in Go TV. I don't think it works like that though. I'm pretty sure the bomb being planted in one spot is like that's where it's gonna go.
Even Toy was like, "Where's the bomb, dude?"
Yeah, he was looking for her. She's like, well, it's outside the orange lines.
Oh, interesting. That's new to me. But, oh my god, that was the op onto
triple op setup, by the way.
And that op get picked up, make it a 4 op setup, but Lions out. Without ops get picked up here by Hasten. They try to gain control towards Barty, but they getting stopped here by Unicmeister and 4-shot all these ops and ops. And 4-shot is actually the offer for fake out at the in this pass, so that's why I remember. Oh, but look at this. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's a hunting party. Hasten gets 1 shot. Can he get the second? In the playground. But, oh, gets a no scope, but no, not like this! Oh! And that's how that happens.
Yeah, that's... I was hoping I wasn't going to see that. But either way, I mean, it's like you said, massive props to Lambton and respect to them for giving it their all here, and just they're not giving up. They're at least kind of trying stuff. I mean, towards the end of the half, you kind of saw the timidness kind of set them, I guess.
Like honestly,
it took them out of this game essentially. They were in it when they won that one round. It was 7-1. They had a shot. They could maybe build a round or 2 off of that. Like you always say, it's a momentum game, and I mean the way the economy works, that's right. But getting fully reset there and then playing scared for the rest of the half, kind of they sealed their own fate at that point.
Looking at how the rounds have been going, Lambton could have made this. They could have won the gun round, which went down to 1 player, and they actually got quite a few frags leading up to that round with them. Going into this pistol, we'll talk a little bit more about how this is going. But Lions. Oh my god, 5 players of 5 is completely blind off. They're trying to make their way on this site. But Alonso picks up 2 kills, make that a 3rd. Now Versace all on himself in the pistol. Clean for the Lions. So this is what
I need to know who threw that flash.
Oh my god, there was so
That was a disgusting flash. Yeah, I mean, they're all 5 blinded up. If this guy was on HLTV, his rating 2.0 would be nuts. You get flash assists on rating 2.0. I mean, it's smart, right? Like if you know pop flashes, you're gonna put in the time to know these things and stuff for your team. I mean, you can become a real asset for yourself there. And you see 1 pop flash means that Lambton, the team that hasn't done too well today, gets to win a pistol round against arguably the best team in the league.
And that's pretty huge. Look at this. Is nicely. Oh no, the nade misses. It was so good. Alonso finds the word. That's gonna be the bomb. Try and duel this guy. But 10 bullets, you should surely go down here. 33 HP, and yeah, Hasten does go down to Versace. Corny towards the map. And he's gonna find the kill of the toy. Now just down to Versace and Udigmeister. I'd be surprised if these guys turn it around. Versace's got full armor. An MP9.
He does have some room to work with here, Udigmeister with the Deagle. I mean, for all intents and purposes, we might as well consider these guys the phase of the league with how they play and how they shoot. So, I mean, you can't count them out of any round. The Lions are showing you exactly, you know, the kind of thing that, but the reason, like, look at all of them. They have control of the bomb. All four of them are playing like spots on the B site, but they're not like playing together. They're holding really passive defaults. They're almost playing scared in a 4v2. It looks like.
God, these players unknown to Lions. Get that kill. 30 seconds ago. Austin, nade into his face, but he finds one kill. Can he actually clean up Udigmeister? The Deagle does have a UP. Alonso from downtown is going to find that headshot now. 14-3. They follow up with the next round. They should get in this next round as well.
Yeah, in theory they should be. I mean, if Fiven manages to get a plan like you saw they got the early kill onto Food there, and that's a play that I like to see, and I've seen it recently. We saw it last week with when Plasma Rider did it a few times, I believe.
Oh yes.
And he just kind of took that aggression. It's a part of the map that kind of sort of like the upper A that we talked about earlier by the fountain there. It's a part of the map that you can control it if you're willing to get aggressive enough and you know the pop flashes to get your team out there. They are finding lurking player in that, and ultimately they secure the round.
Lambton, so much pressure on them. Each loss in matches away from the playoffs, guys.
What?
And yeah, I saw that too. I just
he was full blind.
Was he?
It looked like he was really blind.
He looked away slightly, I guess. I guess that's how it works. But yeah, obviously Udigmeister a little crazy with the Deagle. Now Smorg and Alonso. Alonso's gonna find the bomb. This is equalized now. 4-shot. Gonna be joining his brother. It's gonna be Udigmeister. Considering a very nice play here for the Lions, and they need to double up as well. Now, can you explain to me why semi-pros they shoot and then they run out?
They shoot a little bit.
It's to
just
cover
like
something, right?
It's to cover footsteps in some situations. It's also it's kind of like a tactic to kind of freeze up your opponent. Like, you hearing shots and then seeing kind of where they're coming from and stuff, like, it makes you think that they're holding an angle against you, and then they take you wide, you're not ready for it. So it's
the sound cue just kind of
as a player, you just kind of expect that if somebody's firing bullets at you that they have an angle, so you get ready to hold an angle against their angle, and then they just make you miss basically by moving past you. It's very, very, like, you kind of wouldn't really expect it, but oh my gosh, it looks like Five is just going to make their way into the B site right away.
Yep, and Deagles for full shot. As Food's going to find that kill onto Alonso. Austin with the yacht, followed by Hasten. The rotate, but look at this. Deagle, and actually he wins that duel. That's actually huge. But they need to find another aggressive frag here, but Versace on Zeit is going to find the kill on Austin. Don't see the first, and Food is tapping away into heaven, and the money situation is not looking good.
No, it's not, because they, like, in the rounds that they did win, they did drop a lot of players here. Like I said, in that 1 4-on-2, they could have kept all 4 players alive, but managed to drop 1 there. And even just these little deaths, they take a toll on you as a counter-terrorist. Having to rebuy costs so much money, and you see the pots and pans that they're bringing into this round. They got a Nova. I can respect anybody who thinks it's open season, but what are you going to do against CUNY Baruch? Although 4-shot on the P90 might be a good target for that.
First smoke actually goes for a nice play. The P90 play from 4-shot. Call it what you will. They make it into the site in 2v2, make it a 2v1. As Hasten now with his hopes and dreams for the Lambton College with just a Deagle and 2 flashes. Oh my god.
Wow, it didn't take very long.
No, indeed.
That was uh, like it's so tough because, like you said, the whole time there, we're rooting for Lambton. We want them to get rounds, and we see them build off of that successful pistol. But even as soon as they're willing to buy Deagles and Galils, and they win rounds on that just by running numbers into the B side, it's unfortunate to see it. But I mean, hats off to Lambton for staying in it, and at least they played the respect game the whole time. And I mean, you can tell that they're trying to improve and that they already have improved. So it's huge that they even got 4 rounds here.
The thing is, yeah, it's definitely huge for Lambton to get 4 rounds against CUNY Baruch, the previous champions. But I like what I saw from Lambton, regardless of their loss. But thing is, the playoff season's it's coming up, guys. As these losses rack up for Lambton, it does actually tighten their chances to get into playoffs. Top 32, like two of each conference. In this case, CUNY Baruch, yeah, it's definitely they're looking pretty hot, making it eight
They
to one
are,
now.
yeah.
Now
And this is
Lincoln three and
yeah, I
six,
mean,
right?
yeah, Lambton is now like this is crunch time, right? I mean, our shoulder injury throws it into our heads, and it's true because it matters. This is the time when it matters most. The season doesn't have that many games in it for you to be allowed to take more than just a couple of back to the drawing board kind of losses. And if you're a school that's 1-2 in this half, I mean, unfortunately for Lambton, they're 2-0, so this loss isn't going to be too much of a detriment to them. But for schools out there that are, in that 1-2, maybe 0-2 kind of situation here this week, it was when it matters because if you take 3 losses, your chances of playoffs go downhill drastically.
You gotta put in the work, regardless of who your opponent is. But Lambton definitely gave it a good try. What I would like to see more from Lambton. They've definitely changed. They go together, but I think this comes down to the IGLing mid game. It was like really weird to see them like get the B site twice and then not try. They just went towards a default towards Fountain, right? And then oh god, double up, then pistol play towards Fountain. What do you do after that? It's so demoralizing, right? How do you deal with people like Five? Um,
It's tough. It's tough. It's that's at the end of the day, it's like it doesn't matter how much you drill it into your heads. A tough task is going to be a tough task, and even for like think about professional athletes, like you're
yeah,
good, like you're good enough to be a professional athlete, but you got to face the Patriots next week. You got to face the Blackhawks next week. It's like it does. Going into that, it's like it's going to be an uphill battle from the start, and keeping your resolve, keeping your team's morale really high is important. And I mean, I think we kind of saw that out of Lambton here. They never really gave up. They always went for it. They made the smart plays when they could, and just ultimately they're going to lose out, unfortunately, on skill in this one. But it's promising to see what they've brought to the table today in this one.
yeah. To my advice to any school out there they get themselves in a situation where they get the other team on an eco on their CT side. I drill this into my players. Regardless if we're winning 10-0, the other team, we did the math, calculated beep boop, we know they're on an eco on their CT side, they should be doing something desperate, and what has worked for them in the past. I'm like, okay, let's not rush out as T's, and let's actually do a nice slow default, and butt pucker real hard, and assume that the other school's gonna do something crazy, and it
Yeah,
works every freaking time. And
absolutely.
because
You're
being
right.
more
I mean,
passive and structured, well, you're having no risk is so much better. And then you get information too just by holding out because you expect the CTs to actually do something crazy because it's strength in numbers, right? Um,
definitely. And
but
I
that's
mean,
my advice to
unfortunately.
those schools.
Yeah, but they need to do it not in the way that most people are going to take out of that, which is somebody at the start of the round going, "Come on, guys, let's just wait for pushes." They're going to push everywhere because what they did was they played around, and I could tell that that's kind of what the call was. Let's wait to see what they do.
Yeah,
In this situation, it's smart to try to get information, but they were on the T side there. They didn't get any map control. You have to play these strategies with the idea in mind that if the other team is a team that can exploit you or a team that maybe has exploited you in a few spots, it's a fine line. But I do agree with you. Don't just kind of rush out and hope for the best. It's good to see some kind of strategy and some kind of tactics implemented here from Lambton. We saw smoke lineups and executes. You can tell they put in the time to practice, and I mean, despite this loss, they're still 2-1. They're still, they have a winning record in the second half of the season, which is something that a lot of schools can't say.
Yeah, it's like you hate to see sometimes like the 16-1 score lines, but like you said before, correct your mistakes, try and work at it. Like I said, Lipton was definitely different than we saw today
Yeah.
in a positive way, regardless of the score line that we saw 16-4. Like I said, hope to see more from them. But guys, we're gonna wrap this up. And of course, tonight at 7 p.m. PT or 10 p.m. EST, we've got Texas A&M versus Maryland. So we're back in Division One, and like we cannot stress enough, this is playoffs is coming up. Schools cannot. It's detrimental to not make like some small round mistakes. You need to win these
Absolutely.
matches, right? You know,
Every round counts too, because you look at the top of the standings where all the 3-0 schools are up there, and it's like you think about the games that you kind of threw away a couple of rounds. I mean, round differential can be really important too. So the fact that like it
yes.
becomes even more important to use that kind of mentality of take every round one at a time. Every round is basically like a new game, and you have to play it out and try to win it no matter what the situation is.
Yep, and just briefly, we'll go through the ranks as well. CUNY Baruch, number one. Robert Morris following through. UBC, UC San Diego, UC Irvine, and at sixth place is Ryerson. C Boulder at 7. 8 is going to be San Jose State. And I think it's Virginia Commonwealth.
VCU.
Yeah, VCU at number 9, and Texas A&M. So we're going to see Texas, who's top 10, versus Maryland. Now, I believe. Wait, isn't Maryland in my conference? I'm so confused.
You have Maryville in your
Oh,
conference.
oh, thank God. Oh, my heart almost dropped. But guys, we're gonna wrap this up. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. And of course, my name is TDL True, or True Lie, of course. And Crackshot CS has been joining me, and I believe he's joining me tonight. I'm not too sure.
I think I am.
Yes. Guys, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Hit that follow button, support CSL, and of course, with utmost support from Twitch, which is the greatest streaming platform which has made us what we are today. And I cannot stress enough as well, again, guys, if you are watching this from a school where you guys don't have a CSGO team, if you look on CS Star League, you don't see a team on there in Division 2 or 1, sign up for Division 2 next year and, see how it goes. It's completely free. And
What do you have to lose?
yeah, yeah.
Try something. I promise you guys, and it's going to come from the heart right now because this is what I said at the end of my last article. Uh, having health problems in my life, taking competitive sports out of my life, kind of like it was a really sad time for me. And then Counter Strike and esports kind of gave me back everything that I lost and more. And if you're a prospective school, you got don't just think about what it can bring in, popularity wise, money wise, all that things. Just think about what it can do for the lives of your students.
Yep, indeed. So, guys, to wrap it up, we'll see you at 7 p.m. PST for Texas A&M, Maryland. We'll see you guys later.